When a man's affection drifts away from God, there are 5 dimensions of lust that you will find in that man. The first is he will start loving knowledge and not life. That is the first sign of Babylon. The first sign of Babylon is pursuit for knowledge and not life. You know why? Because he wants to seek false relevance. It doesn't matter if God approves of him, but he just wants to be relevant among men. And what will make him relevant is knowledge. See, what God calls knowledge is actually not facts and information. It's life. He said, this is life eternal. John 17:3, that you may know him, the only true God. So God's definition of knowledge is actually life. And so any life, any knowledge that is only mental will puff up. And that pride becomes the reason why God will reject you. But when knowledge becomes about life, knows that affection is about God. There are many who listen to message because they want to hear something to preach. There are many who read the Bible because they want a new verse to preach. But when you find a man who loves God, he opens the scripture to find God. And so his pursuit is not knowledge. His pursuit is life. If you discover that your pursuit now is about knowing so many things and so much, and not necessarily about growing in intimacy with God, know that your affection has been compromised. Because God is not giving knowledge apart from himself. God is actually pouring forth himself. It is the issuing of God into you that becomes the light in your life. He said the life is the light of men. So knowledge is supposed to spiral out of life. And so any man who pursues life will have knowledge. But it's possible to pursue knowledge and be void of life. This is why people who don't have affection for God, they are just curious about everything. They are everywhere seeking relevance and not in God's presence. When a man is pursuing life, know that his affection is still pure. The second thing that happens to you if your love for God is compromised is you begin to love money. And all of these things are born out of the insufficiencies and the vacuums of the soul. Because you know that what completes you is no longer there. So you are looking for something else to complete you. And so you know that money has purchasing power. And so you want to have a lot of money in order to buy a lot of things to satisfy the vacuum of your soul. And so the Bible said in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10, it said the love of money is the root of all evil. And men whose affection have been compromised, they spend all their life pursuing money. They can work 3 shifts in a day in order to have money, but they cannot stay in God's presence for 30 minutes. And what I'm saying here may not make sense to you. Go to Europe. You'll be shocked. Many people left this country that they are going to start church or they are going to work in church. After 6 months, they didn't see them in church again. And there are many pastors who started church, but they discovered it's on Sunday morning that sales are higher. So they closed church down and started selling food stuff. So you come to England, you'll see Nigerian food product. Most of them were pastors. They went to England as missionaries, but now they sell oporoko on Sunday morning. Because every Nigerian is driving 3 hours to buy one oporoko to add to his soup. So the guy substitutes Jesus Christ for oporoko. And you now see the agenda of God dying, because men choose money over God. The third thing that happens to your affection, if it is compromised, is that you become a lover of pleasure. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 4, when it was giving us the signs of the end time, it said men shall be lovers of pleasure. Lovers of pleasure. They can sit in the football studio from morning to evening. There's nothing wrong in watching football. There's nothing wrong in supporting a club. Once in a while you watch it, it helps you to relax. Nothing wrong. But if you will spend all your life, you watch football, you finish watching, you argue football, and you talk football as if football has become the gospel, then something has gone wrong. Pleasure. You'll find them, they say there's a new theater in town. Every Wednesday, they are there to watch a movie. They say they are doing bar beach somewhere. They are there with short neck and shirt. Anything that is pleasure. If you like, put gate fee to be 1 million, they will pay. They say comedians are coming this week.